हाय एवरीवन, माय नेम इज सौरभ एंड इन वीडियोस में हम एक्सेल सीखेंगे जीरो से स्टेप बाय स्टेप। ये एक चीज़ है जो ऑलमोस्ट हर कंपनी में यूज होती है, हर डिपार्टमेंट में यूज होती है फॉर स्टोरिंग देयर बेसिक डेटा। ओके, एंड ऑल्सो मैनिपुलेटिंग द डेटा, राइट? We can analyze it on Excel as well, but it's used in basic data, not big data. So let's learn what is Excel. So Excel is used for storing the data, right, in the form of rows and columns. Okay. So how it is different? If you don't know nothing about Excel, so you may be in past you may be stored the data in your notebooks, right? In your notebooks we have lines like this and then we store the data, right? Have you ever got that mathematics notebook which have rows and columns, right? It is like that only. Okay, so the basic notebook have these lines, right? And how we store the data, we generally store it like, if you want to store the name and the age of a person, how will you store it? You will store it like name dash Saurav, right? And then if you want to store the age dash, let's say 26, right? Then if you want to store the other person name and age, then you will use name Sahil age 27, right? Okay, and so on like this. But it's not easy for us to write down all those names in this format, right? So what we can do, what Excel allows us, we have columns, right? It is segregated. These lines, it's this, suppose this is the whole line like a notebook, right? So it is segregated by the columns. Each column has their each one identity, right? A column, B column, C column, right? And so on. And each row has the separate identity, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this whole column, this whole row, the intersection of these two things, row and column, we call it a cell. It's a cell, right? First cell, second cell, third cell, these are the cells we have. So each are having their own identity. So suppose if you want to address this, what is this, how we can address this? It's called A1. I'm talking about this. Let me highlight it. Okay, so this is yellow highlight. What is the address of this one? A1. Why it is A1? Because it falls under A column and first row. That's why it is A1. This is the address of the cell. And likewise we have separate like unique address for each cell, right? For this one we have B6. Why B and why 6? Because it is under B column and the sixth row. That's why this is having B6 like this. Okay. Okay. Now it's the same thing we want to do it in Excel. So what we can do? Name Saurav, age 26, name Sahil, age 26, 27. Okay. Now how it is different? If you want to tell someone in which cell we have the name and name of the first person, so how you can, because under this cell you have name, this title like the label, then the content, the sort of, then label, age, and then the content, the number. How we can identify, how you can segregate it, how you can tell someone, say this is not the, we don't want to take the whole content of the cell but just the name, you can't. But in this format you can tell, you can basically say in the B6 you have the name of the person. Okay, so this is the B6, right? Okay, and one more, the feature this grid lines or this columns and rows provide, you can name the whole column and then follow it. So like this is the basic thing people use, right? So suppose we want to store a multiple names and multiple ages, like 10 or 20 people. If you follow like these, so you see these are the repetitive things we have to do. What we can do, we can name it as a whole column, like say name this A column and B column is the age column. Now we can directly name it Saurabh 26, Sahil 27, राइट. सो आपको ये सेग्रीगेट हो गया बेसिकली, राइट. ये हमारा जो रिपीटेटिव थिंग थी, ये अब सिर्फ एक कॉलम को आइडेंटिफाई कर रहा है. नाउ वी कैन use the names in the first column and the age in the second column. You don't have to write the name and age again and again like this. So if you want to add someone, suppose Rahul, you can directly add and the age 34, suppose, right. So this is also the advantage. You see this column is related to this column, right. This is helping how you are relating this. There is no relation between these because name and then age, we are assuming this is the name of the person and this is the age of the person because it's in the second row. But here it's relating to each other because this is the name and this is the ages, right. ये एज साहिल की भी तो हो सकती है और ये सौरभ की भी हो सकती है. We don't know. Suppose there is no age. How can you identify कि ये एज किसकी है? आप नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि ये किससे रिलेटेड है, नहीं रिलेटेड है. लेकिन यहाँ कर सकते हो. सपोज इन दोनों की एज नहीं है तो हमें पता है इन दोनों की एज नहीं है, लेकिन ये एज सौरभ की है क्योंकि ये रिलेटेड है नेक्स्ट कॉलम से, राइट. ये भी एक फायदा होता है इसका, कॉलम्स है रोज का, क्योंकि जो फर्स्ट कॉलम होता है वो सेकंड कॉलम से रिलेटेड होता है. यहाँ पर मैं लिख दूं सपोज प्रोफेशन. अब ये भी रिलेटेड हो गया इन तीनों से, इन दोनों से, राइट. नेम रिलेटेड हो गया इन दो कॉलम से. आई विल से इन आईटी, फाइनेंस, राइट, ट्रांसपोर्ट. So these are the relation between these columns. This is the name of the person, this is the age of the person, this is the profession of the person. So जो old style हमारी नोटबुक होती हैं उनमें सिर्फ एक ही रो टाइप होती है हमारे पास, उसमें हम डेटा स्टोर करते हैं, राइट. जिसमें से हमें सेग्रीगेट करना मुश्किल हो जाता है कि बंदे की एज क्या है और बंदे का नाम क्या है, राइट. क्योंकि वो सब कुछ एक ही रो में होता है सारा कंटेंट, राइट. बट अब हमको वो नहीं चाहिए. बेसिकली वो एफिशिएंट नहीं है यूज करने के लिए. नहीं तो आप यूज कर सकते हो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, बट एफिशिएंट ये वाला मेथड है, राइट. हम इस वाले मेथड से ज़्यादा जल्दी आइडेंटिफाई कर पाएंगे और हम रिलेशन भी ऐड करते जा सकते हैं. और वी डोंट हैव टू राइट इट अगेन एंड अगेन, द नेम एंड एज, द लेबल्स, वी डोंट हैव टू राइट देम अगेन एंड अगेन, राइट. सो हियर एक्सेल हेल्प अस to minimize the repetitive task we have to do. These control B. Okay. Okay, and so this is the first thing we learn about Excel. Let's save it. Let's save this file. How we can save it? Just go to file and then save as, browse. You can save it anywhere, but one more option is there. Just press Ctrl S. It will pop up some like this window. Name it is, suppose I want to name it as a class 1 and I want to store it as a, store in some folder. Let me see, I should have created. So this is the class 1 folder. Let's store it here. It's still saying book 1. I don't want to name it as a book 1. Let me name it as a class 1. So this is the extension for this file, which is .xlsx, basic extension for Excel files. We have multiple extensions: XLSM, XLSB, XLSS, CSV. Learn about these extensions. We have PDFs also, TXT also. So these are the extensions we can use, right? Correct. So the basic for the Excel file is .xlsx format. Okay, I've saved it. It is saved under my directory, class 1 directory. Okay, we call it is a workbook. This whole thing is a workbook. Let me open this class 1. We call it is a workbook. Class 1 dot xlsx is a workbook, like a notebook, right? You can relate, right? It's a workbook and we say notebook, right? And maths notebook and English notebook, like that. Now we have sheets in this notebook, like sheet 1, sheet 2. Think it as like a page, right? Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, and we have 10 lakh rows and almost 16,000 columns, right? So it's pretty much. So this is the page 1, this is the page 2, this is then page 3. Like you can rename it. Let me name it as a page 1, page 2, right? Now you know, right, the benefits of the Excel, how we can use it. Okay.